So Venezuela then, it was billed as a tight race. In the end, perhaps not as close as many thought it would be. And President Hugo Chavez has emerged victorious, his fourth term in office, beating his much younger challenger, Enrique Capriles. Chavez supporters were out on the streets in full force, celebrating late into the night and into the early hours of the morning. But while the president sealed another 6 years in office, this is the closest he's ever come to losing his grip on power.
With 90% of ballots counted, Chavez had 54.2% of the vote. Chavez has been in office 14 years. He used revenue from rich oil reserves to build housing for people on low incomes and offer free medical care. His critics accuse him of pork barrel politics and high-handed maneuvering. Many Venezuelans are also frustrated with high inflation and worried about Chavez's health.
They started almost immediately as the announcement was made. There were fireworks going off everywhere, extremely loud. And then these impromptu street parties springing up across certainly the capital, Caracas, and probably elsewhere in the country, with Chavez supporters extremely happy, perhaps also a little bit relieved, and no doubt those celebrations will continue long into the night here.
Minutes later, President Chavez appeared before his supporters to acknowledge his rival's concession.
The candidate of the right and his campaign commands, they have just announced to the country that they acknowledge the Bolivarian victory. That is a very important step in building peace in Venezuela, of convivial relations in Venezuela. Because of that, I send them this greeting and extending both of these hands to them and this heart in name of all of us, because we are all brothers in Bolivar's country.
Enrique Capriles was credited with 45%. He's conceded defeat to his rival.
Le quiero decir que ojalá que lea con grandeza la expresión de nuestro pueblo.
I'd like to tell Chavez that I hope he'll have a broad vision of the popular expression of our country today. We have a country with two visions. Being a good president means working for the unity of all the people of Venezuela.
Significa trabajar por la unión de todos los venezolanos.
Turnout was more than 80%, and voting hours had to be extended at some polling stations.
Capriles, a 40-year-old lawyer, had campaigned on bringing private investment to the economy and liberalizing the country's massive oil supplies. But Chavez will continue what he calls his Bolivarian revolution towards socialism. Coming to power nearly 14 years ago, he's capitalized off of high oil prices to fund healthcare and education. His supporters, the Chavistas, couldn't be happier.
Chavez will not leave. He will be here until 2021 and beyond, for our kids, for our nation, because we don't want to go back to the past.
Now, with his third re-election victory under his belt, Chavez will serve until 2019.